Welcome everybody to Thundering Einherjar, episode 14. My name is Sam Lander and I will be your GM. I have some players.
I am Jägermeister, playing as Denver Wright, trying to right the rights that others have done.
My name is Zerder, playing Geralt Kenshin, the liberator of New Bergen, and now wants to get off it.
Hi, I'm Suda, playing as Javon Horn, the best-looking and new best friend of Alexandra.
I'm Hegemon Lur, playing Caleb Archer, whose sticky fingers have managed to latch onto some lost tech recently.
And I'm Easeborn, playing as Marina Haffa, who's probably trying to figure out how this tech works on this ship.
All right. So you guys, no. You guys, we'll do a quick summary. So you guys accidentally into a black hole, and did manage to get yourselves back out after slightly stealing one Congress class jump ship. Seeing an exclamation over Sam's video and roll 20. Am I showing here? I show it to myself. That doesn't mean it's sending out properly. Anyway, so you guys stole yourself a Congress class frigate jump ship, piloted by one Alexandra Kerensky, who did a couple jumps in about 30 seconds, and you guys have never experienced that before. So we come out with her grinning and turning back and looking at all you with a proud expression on her face, and then the interior lights going to emergency.
Geralt will just comment, "There's that Banshee again. Wasn't that close this time?"
So Caleb will look at her and go, "So, I'm assuming that the lights going out isn't normal?"
She like looks at her thing and goes, low power mode, who's sitting at ops? So that would be a great question. Which one of you is sitting at operations? So there's 3 operation stations on the bridge. There's like 8 weapons control type, fire control stations. There's 3 piloting stations. I'm assuming Denver's in one of those.
Yep.
There's what else would there be on the bridge? Damage control stations.
Communications.
Important communications. Yep. Who's sitting where, or are you just kind of clustered around?
Maria will probably do ops, but if fighting's needed, she'll switch over to weapons.
Okay.
I think Geralt would be sitting on an ops terminal as well, punching away at various things, trying to figure out the computer systems.
Okay.
Caleb will be at communications, but really just looking perplexedly at them.
We're waiting for the 2-week charge up.
Yvonne's definitely just jumping from chair to chair, pushing buttons.
All right. Marina and Geralt, could I get a... We're going to use piloting plus intelligence, because you guys are familiar with mechs. This is not familiar, but I'm going to give you a chance to get stuff, because this is pretty basic information.
15?
Yeah,
11?
that'll work. Pop this out just so I have a list of skills. All right. So both of you. So this vessel has 3 fusion reactors for redundancy. It only really ever needs 2 of them at any one time. They're spread basically throughout the ship. You guys came over here. There were 2 running and 1 cold. There's currently 1 running, and it is basically running the ship in low power mode. The midships reactor has scrammed itself essentially.
I'll try kicking the third reactor into action.
I'll run some diagnostics on the main
Okay.
one.
Both could get a program plus intelligence roll from you, please. We're about 8 minutes from anybody even knowing you're here, so we're 16 minutes from calling. So, so program plus int of 12 and 10. Morena, the double jump basically overloaded the middle reactor, which was kind of a limp mode. Not exactly, but it was sitting for 25 years in low power mode, and it blew probably some sort of fuses or something when it required a full power draw. Geralt, you have about 15 minutes for the 4 reactor comes online. You're pretty sure.
So there's probably no like big permanent damage on the main engine. Just some fuses and some resets and stuff.
Probably you'd have to go visit it locally. I mean, not everything is controllable from the bridge on this ship. So yeah, you're gonna have to visit it locally. You can just see that there is basically it blew the main power feeds, and it scrammed itself so it didn't overload. Basically
Right.
blow up.
I'll turn around. Well, about 15 minutes until we get full power back. I booted up the third reactor.
Alexandra kind of looks a little relieved and wanders over to the station next to you, Denver, and goes, "All right, here, let me see if I can show you how to put us into station keeping with the 1 reactor, which is going to be fun. Could I get a pilot plus dexterity from you, Jaeger?" A 10. You as she's walking over and like telling this to you, you've already got the engine, the station keeping engine, online and speeding up to match the sun's local gravity at the, I believe you guys are at the zenith point. And you've already stabilized it. You've already stabilized it over. Basically, you have the ship. You guys can feel the gravity pushing you back towards the bottom of the ship, and yeah, it's stable now. She looks over your screen, goes, impressive.
Can we miss someone on the bridge right now, so I can check out the main engine? Yeah.
And she nods. Denver, if you could please stay with me. We might lose power on and off, so I want to be able to like keep things steady here. But anybody else, feel free to go figure out how to get the middle reactor on.
Can I make a picture of like the diagnostics real quick so I can take them with me?
You can download that to your pad. There's a connection to get you both like pathing to it and also information.
That'd be very useful. So I'll pull that out and head out.
Okay.
I'll stay here and keep Denver and Alexander a hand in case they need a third pilot.
Okay.
Does it also show like what might have blown and where to get that from the ship?
Yeah, so it shows you the location of the disconnect, and it's all available internal to the ship. Although you will need a vac suit because it's not pressurized spaces always.
Were we still in vac suits, or did we take them off a while ago?
You took them off, but you can put them back on.
Fair. I'll take a little bit.
I think there's actually. Did you guys get the entire ship oxygenated or not?
I remember that we
We
did
were working on
ox- Yeah.
Okay,
That it
we'll,
was working over.
we'll say you've got oxygen everywhere.
That makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Caleb will go with Marina as well to see if he can help.
All right. Geralt, where are you headed? Staying or leaving?
I think I'll join for the reactor because I got a comment for Caleb.
Okay. So you guys head out. It's like in low power. The ship in low power mode. The elevators are disabled at a higher clearance than any of you have. Or it seemed to have. So it is a matter of floating your way through micro G, which sounds like it should be, like 0G, you just push off and you get to where you're going, except that you don't always, none of you, well, I guess Denver is the only one of you who's used to this sort of thing. And so it takes you 20 minutes to get to it'll take you 20 minutes to get to the reactor. Denver, Yvonne, and Alexandra, you guys get a transmission from the planet after about 16 minutes of being in system. It's probably closer to 20. So, it is you guys are eight light minutes ish away from the planet, so it's not like it's live communications, but you get communication from planet side.
Okay. Let's receive that communication.
Okay, so you pop it up. It is you see the image of NPCs. Commandant General Einherjar on screen. She's looking like she was woken up. She's wearing her hair is down. She's wearing not her dress uniform like you guys saw her last time. But she's not looking fresh, but she's not looking like she's not tousle-headed, if that makes sense. And she's looking dead in the screen, says unidentified jump ship. This planet is currently interdicted from Draconis forces. Please identify yourself and state your business in the New Bergen system.
I got this, Alexander in Denver. Hi, howdy, hey, commandants. This is Yvonne Horn of the Thundering Einherjar. Our boss is currently away. Please leave a message at the beep. Thank you.
Before anybody could stop her, Yvonne sends that off, and we'll hear the response of that in about 16 minutes. All right. Caleb, Marina, and Geralt. About 20 minutes in, you guys get to the engineering spaces near the central reactor core.
And to interrupt, we pass the message on through intercoms so that Caleb, of course, is aware of the message.
Sure. Caleb, about the time you're getting there, you get this.
I would like to interject in the first few minutes. Geralt will probably have asked, "How much of a panic do you think we've caused on the planet by now?"
Well, it depends. Can they tell what kind of ship it is? I mean, they see the jump signature, sure, but unless they've got a really good... Well, I suppose the telescope's not that far. They probably can see. I don't know. And about the time Caleb is mumbling through that, he gets the message from Denver and the reply, and he's so distracted that he flies into the bulkhead, just sort of careens into the wall.
So, yeah, Marina and Geralt, you hear bonk as Caleb runs into a wall.
Oh, careful about that.
Oh, look, a spider.
All right, whose bright idea was it to leave Yvonne on the bridge? Geralt, you're supposed to stop those sort of things.
You're the commanding officer.
I don't know. She. All right.
I'm gonna owe Marina, or I'm gonna owe Yvonne a C bill because I didn't think she'd actually do it.
You
All right. Well, I guess it's done at this point. Let's see if we can get the reactor going.
because repair crews would be 30 or 40 people usually, or 20 or 30 people at least. You guys have the twins and Tai with you. The bridge was handled.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys get into the engineering spaces. It is a fairly simple, open the door. Somebody's going to have to go into the BattleTech equivalent of Jeffries tubes, which are not pressurized. Well, okay, they have air in them, but they are not oxygenated. Specifically, they are not oxygenated in order to prevent fire transferring between decks and rooms. So you have to suit up. There is an airlock that enters the Jeffries tube is the wrong maintenance tubes between spaces, and yet somebody's gonna have to go in there.
So we're wearing gas masks or full suits?
That has pressure, so as long as you are confident that it's going to retain pressure, gas mask would be sufficient. They do have that sort of equipment nearby, and Geralt can point out where.
He does so as he straps a mask on himself and prepares to go through an atmosphere lock.
Okay. The airlocks are sized for probably 2 people at a time.
Caleb will grab one and go into the airlock, putting it on as he steps in.
Okay. All right, you guys head into the space. Tai kind of looks at you, Morena, and goes, "All right, where am I useful? Got any ideas? Could I get a knowledge plus intelligence? Actually, knowledge plus wisdom, because it's kind of a luck thing, Morena."
Knowledge plus wisdom, 7.
You kind of point out some computer consoles across the room. You got your own, you've got your own thing hooked up here. That seems like the best bet from here.
Yep. Go at it then.
All right. Caleb and Geralt, you guys get into this interior space. There are running LED lights along edges, and it makes a surprisingly well lit space. So as you came in here, the lights pink on, and then there's just a strip lighting all along the interior of this space, and you've got to go up 10 or 15 feet in a direction, and then you'll get to the main, I guess, call it fuse panel wiring that reads as blown. All right, so
Geralt will bewilderedly look around, then find the ladder, then start climbing.
okay. There's, I don't know, ladders is not exactly the right term, but there's definitely handholds conveniently to push yourself along. Either they're in 0G, micro G, or, well, the way they're spaced, you could think it gravity in any direction, and you got handholds for that. Back to the bridge. Denver and Yvonne, you guys see another communications come across communication thing, and it is again the Commandant General going, Einherjar, Yvonne, A, where's your commander? And 2, you guys are not expected back in for several days now. What is the status of the Schnecken and the mission? And that's where it cuts off again.
Well, I'm gonna leave this one to Caleb. She left a message at the beep, so
Caleb, so you get this through your comms as you're approaching the break.
So I will. I'll listen to the message and think about what was said before and think, okay, maybe there's some way we can salvage this, and I'll set up my little pad to record a reply. Of course, I've got the gas mask on, so
Right.
I'll say something on the order of, Commandant General, we're experiencing technical difficulties, undergoing repairs. We will brief you fully once we have the situation under control. Please stand by, and ping that back up to the bridge to be sent off.
Okay. You guys get the
and
message
away
back,
it goes.
and away it goes. All right. So, Caleb and Geralt, you see a probably 300-pound steel plate that has come to settle in the micro G. That looks like it's got a series of dents along one side of it and great big arc flash burns. You look over and you can see the dent where it traveled across the interior space, and then you look back and there's a series of like 1-inch cables that neck down a little bit into some sort of holder, and then there is just broken, burnt remnants, and then there's this gap, and then there is a where it necks back up into these 1-inch cables, and then it goes into the interior space.
So does that look like a fuse to you?
Well, if that's a fuse, it literally vaporized. But no, that looks more like plate wire, not good.
Could I get a fix plus wisdom or intelligence, please, from both of you?
Ooh, I did better.
A 6 and a 7. A little bit of fiddling around, calling back and forth to Morena and Tai. And you guys get the impression, get the feeling that this is basically this is a fuse bus of some sort. And it definitely overloaded. And there are spares available, but it's going to take the spares are available. Oh no, they would be held relatively close. It's going to take probably half an hour to an hour of getting them out of their spare locker, shoving them in place, pulling out the old stuff, verifying that it's all lined up, all that sort of stuff.
Also need a welder to weld this honking big plate somewhere it doesn't thwack into the fuses again.
Yeah, you're not sure what to do with the honking thick plate because it doesn't fit where it was anymore.
Which is why Geralt just wants to weld it into place somewhere so it's not free floating.
Just secure it, basically.
Does it look like it would fit through the airlock?
Yes. So everything here is sized pretty much to pass through the airlock.
Caleb will go, hey, that's a job I can do. Pick it up and start maneuvering it back toward the airlock slowly and carefully.
So, 300 pounds microgravity, this is easy, except that it's not, because it gets away from you in weird ways. But give me a exert plus dexterity or strength. A 6, moderate, like light success.
Adding dents to the wall.
Yeah, you're adding dents to the wall, and you crush a couple fingers, but not near as bad as Denver's broken arm. You eventually manhandle it into the airlock and get it passed through. Thomas and Chelsea take it and like secure it. There's netting in this like engineering space for securing. You're not sure if it's like securing battle damage or securing something for sure. And they net it down, cinch it down to tie down points inside the room. About an hour later, you guys have this thing all powered up on the bridge. 20 minutes after Geralt started it, like the low power situation goes away, and then an hour later, hour and a half, you guys like the red down indicator goes away from the third reactor, and all three reactors spin up into active state, and the ship becomes like so much easier to pilot. Denver, like you're no longer fighting it to keep it on point. It now is basically keeping itself on point.
As Geralt finishes the patchwork fix, just radios up to the bridge. There, try now. As he shoves off from the wall, trying to get distance in case it goes zap.
As people kick in the things, you can see you probably repaired this right. Probably you'd want a professional in here to check it out at some point in the near future, and you don't know any professionals.
Well,
it's holding
one, but she's not technical professional.
But repairs are holding. Ship it comes up full green across the board. The air degraded air status goes away, and the ship comes back to full operations with the exception of the grav deck. Go ahead.
Caleb will make his way back up to the bridge.
Yep, everybody who was there is still there. You guys are like you and Geralt are just soaked with sweat from exertions.
As Caleb comes onto the bridge, he's going to be looking around to see if he can figure out where Yvonne is.
Yvonne is sitting at piloting station number 2, right next. Well, no, probably it's across the room from Denver. Compartmentalization. You don't want the bridge to take out one section of the bridge going out to take out the entire piloting crew.
All right, he'll make his way over to near to Yvonne, get in her line of sight, and basically say, "What the hell were you thinking?"
I didn't want to give away anything without your say-so, and you were AFK.
So you told him who we are?
Well, it's either that or cause the entire planet to go into lockdown. What else do you want me to do?
You could have pinged me.
You were busy.
All right, we got to figure this out, Yvonne. We'll discuss it once we've got everything locked down. I'll look over to was it Alexandria and say,
Yep.
What's our status?
Status is about as good as we can run on no crew. Once the third reactor started up and you guys got everything buttoned down, I prepped for sail deploy. Everybody ready for sail deploy maneuver? She kind of looks at the entire group, which is here now.
Aye, mon capitan.
She nods. All right. Denver, give us a roll. So it's roll. That's the right term, right? Because it's yaw and turn and roll. Anyway,
Yaw is left and right. Pitch is up
Pitch.
and down. Roll is on the main axis.
So 0 degrees, pitch, 0 degrees, yaw, roll at 1 revolution per 3 minutes, if you would be so kind. Denver, could I get a pilot plus dexterity from you, please? Oh yeah. So you nail it. The yaw and pitch axes are locked in place, and you give it just the ever so gentlest of roll, and you have the perfect roll rate, like exactly what she called for. And she looks over. Morena, could you please begin deploying the sail?
Yep.
And give me a pilot plus intelligence roll, please.
12.
12. All right. So she had already kind of gone over this with you, showing you how to do it, and you key in the sequence correctly, and the 2-kilometer diameter sails begins rolling out underneath your guys' tail. 3 minutes in, she looks over. Denver says, please cancel roll. You do so, no problem at all. The ship stops rolling, and Yvonne, please lock sail into position.
Affirmative.
Pilot plus intelligence, please, Yvonne. Oh yeah. So you hit the right key sequence, and the sail is locked out behind you guys, and you can see the main capacitor bank for the jump drive is starting to charge up. Full charge is registered in 6 days, 10 hours, and the LF batteries are primed to charge as soon as the main bank is full. She kind of looks around and goes, all right, 6 days and we can jump, although I'd really like to get more crew before that. And
Caleb will say, I think we need a strategy session. I had kind of planned to have a week to figure this out, but now's as good as any.
She nods. Anything, I mean, I guess you guys, I'm judging by the transmissions, I'm gathering some Einherjar are also on planet, as well as, was it Lyrian forces as well?
Yeah, Lyrian forces have dropped in for a so far friendly visit. We don't know. I'm not sure how friendly it will remain when they figure out what jumped into the system, though. So we've got to find a way to keep things cool and low key, if at all possible.
She nods. Well, you know these people much better than I will know them. I can maintain the ship as is for now. I need to get some gravity underneath my feet, though, and I need to contact the wolves. So sooner better than later in those instances.
How much crew would we need just here for station keeping?
If nothing goes wrong and there's nobody tries to board, and basically as long as nothing goes wrong, we can maintain station for 25 years without any active crew, so a good long while, because that's how long I was asleep. So
Fair enough. So here's what I'm thinking. We don't want to give anyone the impression that there's not crew aboard, because that's just begging for the ship to walk away.
Pirates to get on board and steal the ship out from under you as you're sleeping? She gives you a grin.
Something like that, yeah. So we need to find a way to get to the surface and back here. What's the round trip time from the zenith point to the planet?
Around 4 days at 1G. You guys know that from previous trips in and out.
That's one way or round trip?
One way. So 2 days at 1G there, and 2 days at 1G towards the planet. Flip the middle. 2 days at 1G, braking, and then however long it takes to land.
So we're looking at 8 days round trip time to get back here with crew, and we need 13 days to fully charge both the sail and the batteries.
Yeah. Could I get you? Okay, so you don't know what LF batteries are, but you've gotten that impression. You haven't ever heard of them before, but you've got that. Judging by it's some sort of battery that you've never seen before. Yeah, anyway, yes, she nods. About 13 days for full charge. Once we're fully charged, we can stow the sail and get the ship closer to the planet.
Oh, now that might set off some alarm bells.
She kind of eyebrows up and goes, I take it you guys are not very familiar with ships like this, then.
Let's just say it would be an unexpected capability.
She nods. I will remember that.
We're going to have to figure out how to identify this ship to keep the Lyrans off balance. Geralt, do you have any intel, or Denver? Actually, anybody, you have any intel on current relations between the Wolf Dragoons and the Lyrans?
Anybody can give me a knowledge plus wisdom, knowledge plus intelligence, knowledge plus charisma.
Nope.
That's a solid probably not.
What about the ship's onboard computer?
Ship's onboard computer has no information on that.
25 years out of date.
Yeah. Caleb, you know the answer to your own question.
Wow, I just had to dredge it out of my memory.
Nobody else... I mean, nobody got a really bad roll, so... Again, yes, Geralt is not on the bridge. You don't know where he's at currently. So, as you're asking this question out loud, it occurs to you that the Lyran Commonwealth and the Federated Suns are currently allied. Their monarchs are married to each other, and the Wolf's Dragoons is currently employed by the Federated Suns in a harassment action along the Federated Suns Curitan border.
So they're in actual good flavor right now, at least with the putative allies.
With an 11, you're pretty sure the Federated Suns are overpaying the Wolves a little bit in order to build the Wolf's strength back up, because it really annoys I think it's Takashi Kurita, who was the one who issued the Death to All mercenaries command. So Takashi Kurita, let me look that up.
So while you're looking that up, I'll
yes.
just go ahead and say, so here's what I'm thinking. Alexandria,
yes,
I think we just play it straight. You we have you contact the Commandant General, say that you're a Wolf's Dragoons VIP, that there was a distress call that was answered, and you brought us back to New Bergen post haste, and that the Schenken should be along shortly, and that we are going to be bringing a dropship down to the Einherjar compound.
She goes, "You're gonna landing the dropship so under crewed would be a challenge. Are you gonna bring the dropship down, or are you going to take one of the drop shuttles?"
The drop shuttles carry how many?
Let me look them up.
I did some looking. I think they're pretty doggone small.
Yep. I think they hold 12 or 24. Do K1 drop shuttle. K1 drop. Did I mean K-1 drop shuttle? I did. K-1. Small craft, small space docking collar, Titan dump ship. So it has a mass of 200 tons, or
Berths for 6 passengers.
berth for 6 passengers. So what is it's crewed by? Crew of 2. So it has room for 8.
So here's the conundrum.
Well, berths for 6 passengers. It can carry more than that.
Yeah, but for 4 days, you're not going to pack them in.
True.
You're not going to pack like cordwood in a 4-day trip.
Fair point. So yes, 6 passengers. Okay, so go ahead.
So we've got a conundrum. We can only bring up 6 passengers each, crew of 2. So there's going to be 12 additional people at 8 days. That's probably not going to be enough to man this thing effectively.
She nods. Yeah, that's true, and that's assuming you. Well, I can pilot one of them. Denver is good enough. I have confidence in him piloting another one. I guess then the dropship it is. Even with all, she looks around 12, 13 of us, 10, 12, 13 of us, however many there are. No, there's 10, 11 of us. Landing that dropship will be a challenge.
How about this? What if we don't land? Can we fit the K1s inside the Overlord and just leave it in orbit and use them as orbital shuttles instead?
Yes, if we take out 2 of the fighters from the ASF base.
That should be able to get us up to sufficient strength to pilot the Overlord safely. We just have to make orbit, which I have the utmost confidence in your abilities, he says, looking over at Denver.
All right. I should check in with Geralt since he wasn't on the bridge for this entire conversation. Geralt, what's going on?
I'm just punching through computer systems and trying to figure out what makes these computers tick.
ST-46. I don't think ST-46s do atmosphere, though. ST-46. Oh no, it is capable. So safe thrust, maximum thrust. Crew. Oh, so crew. The ST-46s would take 3 and then 8 passengers, so it's a little bigger than the K1s. Either way, you can load them into the ASF bay. So I guess it would be up to you guys which one you would choose. So all right. So sorry, you distracted me. Now, what was it you said?
Just trying to figure out what makes this computer system tick.
Uh,
Because it's like putting today's youth on an MS-DOS PC. Like, how does this thing work on such an antiquated operating system?
It's more like putting somebody from 1980 onto a Windows 10 computer. If you want if you want to put that analogy in.
Yeah, just figuring out. I figured out with the computer's own help how to restrict and give back
True.
things, but
Give me a program plus intelligence. 7. So what you've already gotten figured out, like adding, restricting, like a lot of this stuff you have to do through your. Partly that was due to your data slab or your what is it called? Your special computer.
data phase tab.
Yeah, the data phase tab. That was letting you do a lot of stuff that you like just interfacing with the normal computer can't really get it to do. The data phase tab is you're not sure if it's interpreting what you're doing and then giving it to the right commands to the computer or what. You can get into like turn on, turn off any of the automated systems, check on stuff, but like deep computer searches are still beyond you. You don't have the syntax yet.
I would think that sometime in his fiddling in the computer systems, he'd turn off some light on the bridge or somewhere close.
Right. Yep. Absolutely, light off, light on. No problem. You find a lot of the lighting is physical switches uncontrolled by the computer. You can see readouts of whether they're on or off, but you can't control on-off state necessarily, other than just to literally cut the power to the circuit that it's on.
Yeah, just thinking like the commander's room next to the bridge or somewhere that just all of a sudden went dark and then became light again.
Right.
By accident. So things happening on the bridge mid thing, maybe, possibly.
Okay. So Alexander goes, all right, I will send a message off, Caleb, with what you suggested. And then we can take the Icarus to the planet and put it into an orbit. As long as they don't decide to start shooting at us, we'll be fine.
So I assume it's going to take some time to do the transfers of shuttles and whatnot. Plenty for us to hear in your sort of response.
Yeah. So somebody's going to have to go to the bays and get the shuttles ready, and like it'll be a couple hours of work to do the side transfers. So Alexander sends off her message. She goes, planetary forces. This is Alexandra Karinsky of the Wolf's Dragoons. My ship had a casualty, or there was my ship was a casualty due to misjump, and sent out an emergency beacon. The Einherjar and Schnecken were able to render aid. And due to unfortunate circumstances, the brain fart. The WD oh shoot, what did I call it? It's WDS WDS Daedalus left the Schnecken behind in the system where they arrived. we gave the Schnecken. It had also experienced a misjump. The Schnecken had every resource necessary to complete their jump back to New Bergen. That is their plan. Unfortunately, a small accident on the bridge due to the previous misjump, caused the Daedalus to instead jump to New Bergen prematurely. We are here going to be charging up, and I am going to be transferring to the the Icarus, and with the aid of the Einherjar crew, we will be putting ourselves into an equatorial orbit around New Bergen in order to transfer necessary personnel and supplies to fully repair the Daedalus, the Icarus, and accompanying equipment. I look forward to seeing you on the ground on New Bergen in a few days, and we can communicate more conveniently when we get closer to orbit. And she closes the recording and checks with you, Caleb.
Sounds good to me.
Transmit. 16 minutes later, you guys see the ready room like power off and power back on. Geralt poke his head into the bridge with it when it powers off, and then kind of make a sound, and then you see him hit something on his data phase tab, and the power comes back on, and he heads back out again. 16 minutes of transmission time later, you see the Commandant General looking fully awake now, has dressed in her uniform. Local time is, you guys have gathered that by now, local time is about 2 a.m. In New Bergen. 2 a.m. Give me in Radal. she returns very, very well. Actually, Alexandra didn't give her rank. Very well, Captain Alexandra. We will talk to you when you guys arrive at orbit around New Bergen. All right, you guys have couple hours of work to transfer over the shuttlecraft to the ASF bays on the Overlord. You can take, I think the Overlord has 6 ASF bays, so you could transfer up to 4. I think there are 4 shuttles total. So, so you could transfer 4 of the Chippewas out of the ASF bays and put the shuttles in instead.
Just a slight observation, the K1s are 200 tons, EST-46s are 100 tons, which might lead me to believe that each ASF bay is 100-ton max? Question mark?
I'm gonna go with this as an Overlord, and it can keep the shuttles on board as long as you don't try to land them. So I'm going to go with drop shuttles are something you can put onto a drop ship for this sort of thing. Landing it is when it becomes a problem. If you're overloaded. Or, if you unbalance it, so.
Okay, an observation on weights and something I remembered from way back when reading about dropships.
Sure. I'm going to go, it works this way in my universe, because I don't like the idea of you have to do a drop shuttle all the way from jump ship all the way down to a planet. It seems to make sense that you would have that ability to put them on drop ships to have multiple different drop points if you wish. All right. You guys gonna leave the mechs on the Overlord, or are you gonna load them onto the Daedalus?
Well, that's a good question. We aren't going down to planet either way. We don't need the cargo space. So I'm thinking the simplest thing to do is to just leave them on the Icarus.
Okay. No problem with that at all. All right, so you guys prep the ship for leaving. Alexandra finds you, Caleb, probably about an hour before you guys are ready to go, and goes, "Do we lock the ship down and activate internal defenses, or do we leave the ship? Boardable?" There's pluses and minuses in either direction, but I guess I will leave it up to you.
I'm thinking that we need to leave some people here, if for no other reason to give the impression that there are more than just some people here. It makes me really nervous leaving it completely uncrewed with other jump ships in system.
She nods. Well, who would you like to leave behind? Because we're taking. I would suggest, if we're going to leave some people behind, we leave them at least one of the drop shuttles. Because that would be a way to get away from if somebody does attack the ship.
That's a really good point. Let's just run through. Who do we have on board again?
So you have Thomas and Chelsea Scarzy. You have Tai E. And you have the player characters. You have Sue. And you have Alexandra. So 10 Einherjar and Alexandra.
I'll ping Geralt and see what he thinks about the opportunity to stay on board.
He will respond from half speaking a voice command into his pad as he turns the corner, and half trying to type out a message. Sure, what? Huh? We living? What?
All right, sounds like you volunteered to stay then. I'll also ping Tai and the twins.
Tai comes over and goes, I'm willing to stay on board. Might be good to have some command staff on board in case you need the reputation, if nothing else. Thomas, I guess Thomas and Chelsea will follow your orders either way. They seem willing to stay here. They're as long as they're together, they're fine.
Yeah, I want you to have some muscle in case you need it, just to lever a fuse into place. All right, I think that's good.
Okay.
We will leave one of the drop shuttles, the smaller ones, the K1s.
The K1s are the bigger ones, I think.
They have crew berth for 6. The ST-46s have crew for 8, berth for 8. I thought.
The difference is the ST-46s are unarmed, and the K1s, I believe, have some guns. Yeah, the K1's twice. Because it has LRMs, medium lasers, and a small laser. So, the K1 is...
I see. So the K1s are bigger but carry less people.
Bigger, carry less people, and also can defend themselves. So if you wanted to leave the...
We're not really leaving a pilot, are we?
No.
So, okay, yeah, we'll leave the ST-4 and ST-46.
Okay. Denver, give me a piloting plus intelligence roll for loading the Overlord with the various things aboard, so you don't unbalance it. It's fine. You guys did perfectly. You min at a 5. Wow. You min at almost a pass. All right. So you guys after a couple hours load up. Sue volunteers to stay on the Daedalus as well. She's like, well, if anything goes wrong, you're gonna need medical professionals, so I'll stay up here.
How many does that leave us? Oh, we don't. It doesn't matter because we're taking the Overlord. Got it. Never mind.
Right.
I think there'll be room.
Yeah, there's an uncomfortable amount of space considering the Overlord has a crew of 40. And you guys are 6? No, 5.
Even so staying back is Tai, Geralt, Thomas and Chelsea, and Sue. That's 5 out of our 11.
Okay, so
yeah.
6. All right, so you guys transfer over to the Icarus, and Geralt, you're on bridge. Alexandra comes over and says, permission to decouple the ship.
Granted, Godspeed.
She waits. Geralt, could you please undo the docking collar, please?
Yes, hold on. Beep, 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 beep. Meep, meep, beep, beep.
And you guys feel through the hull of the Overlord, the docking clamps release, and the ship, like, because it's no longer under acceleration, like, start falling away very slowly towards the back of the jump ship. All right, Denver, could I get a piloting plus dexterity roll, please? You're fine. You pilot the ship away from the docking collar without damaging either ship, and you guys find yourself heading at a comfortable, what G setting would you like between here and the planet?
1G. We're not wanting to appear in a hurry or lackadaisical either.
All right, so nice, comfortable 1G for the vast majority of you. And as the engines kick in, you see Alexandra first catch herself and then, like, fall over into a chair roughly as the G-forces increase to 1.
I'll look over to her and just say, is that everything all right?
And she goes, I believe, and then she vomits violently over the arm of her chair.
Oh, dang it. We should have brought Sue. Anybody
Morena?
know where the med bay is?
You brought Morena.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Hi, Marina. Sorry.
I'll put out a kid and help her. See what's going on for me.
All right, can I get a intelligence plus doctor? Whatever it is.
Heal?
Heal, yes.
13.
So she is a extremely fit person who hasn't experienced gravity for many years, and she's essentially experiencing kind of the equivalent of gravity sickness. Like, her body wasn't ready for that, and she's, like, vomiting up her most recent meal and her previous meal to that, and, like, she kind of is just pale white, and as you approach her and kind of help her out, she's like, puts a hand on your shoulder and goes, I'll be okay, just and then again,
I'll grab the nearest bucket and try and shove it underneath it.
yeah, you're able to kind of contain.
Caleb will look over at Denver and say, hey, can we back it off to, say, a quarter G and then bring it up slowly over the course of, say, I don't know, a couple hours?
Yeah, that's no problem. I can do that.
Yeah, and it is literally no problem at all. You back it off. You have to readjust the track a little bit because you're no longer as high a G, so the planet moves. But yep, and Alexander like looks better, but not well as the G force backs off. She goes, Marina, here, I'll show you where the med bay is. If you fall here, I'll point it out. And she kind of gets herself onto her feet.
Help her a little bit.
Yeah, you lead her there, offering a shoulder. She's significant. Like I think Marina's. How tall is Marina?
Ooh, specifics. Where did that even put it there? I think I'm just like average human nowadays.
So 5'8", 5'9". Okay. So she's like about a head taller than you, and she is leaning heavily on you as you move her through. So
I do have a little bit of muscle, so I'm probably
you can carry her, especially at a quarter G. Like it's not hard to maneuver her.
I shall assist. I got her other arm.
Yvonne is underneath her other arm after a few moments, and you guys get her to the med bay, which is down a deck and then over a little bit. There's a nice big mess on the floor now. Who's all with you? It's Denver, Yvonne, Morena. Is it just the 5 PCs and Alexandra?
Not Geralt.
Not Geralt. So it's 4 PCs and Alexander. Who
did we lose track of? Did we have 11?
I think we only had 9 because I 10.
Oh,
because
yeah.
we only
10.
had 9 TE people go on the mission.
Right. So I was off by 1. So yes. So you and Denver are left alone on the bridge then, Caleb.
I'll give Yvonne about 5 minutes to get Alexandra to the med bay, and then I'll open up the comm to the med bay and say, Yvonne, I need you back on the bridge.
Aye, Captain.
As you are.
When she arrives, I say, I need you to take care of your heroes' leavings.
I thought so. I brought a bucket.
Ah, way to think ahead.
All right, so Morena, could I get a? Well, your healing plus intelligence is 13. You give her some. I'm not gonna make you roll again. In other words, you give her like IV fluids and like an anti-emetic, motion sickness pills. Like, give her a full rundown of stuff that will help her, like a little bit of adrenaline. You got a fully stocked, if old, med bay here.
Makes her be able to adjust more easily, I guess.
Yeah. And in your expert opinion, a couple hours, and she will be able to tolerate 1G. It'll be months before she's back to her fighting trim, judging by her physique. You're not actually 100% sure how she got that physique, because despite the fact of many years in suspended animation and lack of gravity, she is built. All right. So you guys are starting to pick up as you approach New Bergen itself. You're getting more and more comms traffic. Eventually you get a comm from the person whose name I just forgot. Stanislav goes, Major, how are you? as you're in within, like, less than a light second range.
Hey, Stanislav, it's been a wild ride. Can't wait to tell you more about it. How's the recruiting been going recently?
Recruiting has been going okay. Are we staying on planet? Because I think recruiting will go much better if we have a place where they can just, go near Voxadal and call home.
I'm thinking that's probably the long-term plan. To have a home base. Yeah.
I have been fielding very many correspondence with planetary government, trying to say, while you were out, should finish this negotiations out and should sign something to stay here. But I will let them know that you say we will probably stay here.
I'm thinking we can even arrange transport. How soon do you think we would be ready to move? Say, 2-3 weeks.
He nods. Yes, we could be ready to move the Einherjar in about that amount of time. Faster if we had a dropship here to load onto.
Speaking of which, how's the dropship pilot and crew and similar recruiting been?
The little bit easier for the crew part. A lot of technical ability on the planet, but pilots, not great. You've seen no, I guess you haven't seen the sim matches. Their mech pilots are very sad, but they keep jumping all over the place. Maybe they should be dropship pilots instead.
Was Yvonne on the training roster?
Before you guys left, yes.
Oh, gee. Okay, so we'll have to change that up. Now, don't tell me, was Thomas on the roster too?
He looks at a pad. Oh yes, he was one of our main trainers.
Oh, gee. Okay, so we're gonna have to revisit our training protocols, and I think that we'll have to have some senior instructors that have different perspectives. Let's just put it that way.
He nods. Well, I will. When will you be to planet?
We're arriving in 6 hours?
Yeah, call it that. You'll be in orbit in about 6 hours.
We'll be in orbit in about 6 hours, and I want you to start putting together a detail of some of the more experienced technical people, and I'll give you more details once we're on the ground. But start putting together some lists by specialties for me.
He nods. Mech techs or just general techs?
Both.
Oh, okay. I will get you something. What is his name? Agamemnon. Agamemnon will be happy to give me list.
I'm sure he will. Thanks, Stan.
He nods and cuts the connection. And Denver, I'll give me another piloting plus dexterity to get this ship into a stable orbit. Ah, yeah, glorious. You are in a stable circular orbit. You'll pass Radal every what is it, about half an hour in a small circular orbit. You pass by a place on a planet.
It's pretty fast, yeah.
It's really fast. But yeah, you're able to get this thing into like the perfect parking orbit for, hitting anywhere near the equator. Like it's right on the equator, so you're not even processing around the planet. Of the 12, yeah. All right, Alexander. About this time, she's actually spent the last several days in the medical bay, and she's looking much healthier as she comes onto the bridge. no longer has the, like things that are arms, IVs, or anything like that. And she looks like she's recently showered and looking a little more peach than the very pale expression she had a few days ago, and goes, "To planet then? Who's all going, and are we leaving anybody aboard this ship?"
Yeah, same sort of conundrum. I think that this time around I'll stay on board the Overlord. Let's see, who does that leave us? Reina, you probably want to go with your patient, I'm assuming. Oh, I forgot he stepped away for a minute. So yeah, we'll just assume Reina's going to go. I need Denver to pilot the other shuttle. Let's see, which leaves Yvonne. Yvonne, I really don't think I can spend time with you right now. Why don't you go on down as well?
Oh no, sir. Are you sure? I would perish the thought.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Geralt, in the last few days, could I get you another intelligence plus programming roll or two from you, please? 11.
I'll spend 1 day's re-roll just to see if I can get even better than that.
Okay.
Well, no, not.
So you're learning the system. There are a lot of what you're finding is this system was not designed to teach somebody how to use this system. So there's still a lot of like stuff that you don't understand necessarily, but you're getting it. And there are also great, huge holes in the memory banks of information that should technically be here. And you're not sure if that is like damage from radiation or the misjump or purposeful, but like other than the two jumps that brought you back to New Bergen, there are no previous jumps stored in this thing's pilot log, nor are there any like you're starting to dig your way through like personnel logs and stuff. You're not finding any like jump references in any of the other logs that you're coming across. There are great big sections of this ship that are dedicated to both armor and weapons. And you're just starting to get kind of that sort of thing mapped out. This thing is a dedicated warship that just happens to also jump from system to system.
I would assume he, at some point during these days, found the stores for ammunition for the naval autocannons.
Yep.
And just out of curiosity went down and jaw dropped at the sheer size, because those things be huge.
Okay, so those things, like the shells are like torso sized.
Yeah, like an AC-20 fires things that would look like regular 9mm bullets in
Comparison. Correct. I think that the smallest naval autocannon is equivalent to an AC-100.
Yeah, something like that.
It's and I could look it up, but yeah, the shots are huge, and the like explosive stuff that drives them is also significant. Like you find banks and banks and banks of 2-part explosives for the naval autocannons. Inert separate, but together they make things go boom. All right. So, Denver, you get yourself into the controls of one of the K1s or the ST-26s. Which one do you get? ST-46.
I'll go into the K1 is armed one, correct?
Yes.
All right. So I'm confident in my shooting capabilities, so I'll lean towards the armed vessel.
Okay. The K1 can also land anywhere vertically. The ST-46 requires a runway. So, yeah, you guys load into the K1. There's a little bit of like, is this gonna work? Is this gonna work? Oh, it's working now. The air in here still smells stale, but you kind of expected that from when you loaded it onto the dropship. And yeah, you guys are able to disconnect from the dropship, move your way out, and descend into the atmosphere. Morena, could I get a intelligence plus heal as you guys are descending? Denver, I would like a pilot plus dexterity roll, please. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
What are the rolls today?
I don't know, but most of them have been very good. All right. Caleb, you watch as the drop ship or the drop shuttle like disconnects and is expertly finessely like this is the best ship handling you have seen on a pilot ever, and the K1 like drops perfectly down through the atmosphere and lands exactly where Denver planned on it, which is, we're gonna say you land like over here behind these hills, which is far enough away from the overlords parked over here that you're not likely to get shot, but it's close enough. It's like you're not going to damage any buildings and everything like this. Morena, your ministrations to Alexandra have done her well. She is sweating, but not like you guys have to pull up to like almost 2 Gs on the way down. But she is holding up under it. Yeah. And about this, but Caleb, you know, about the time that you see them pulling away and you're like getting your cup of bad recycled coffee and sitting on the bridge, you get the message from Geralt. And yeah, you guys land on the planet. And like 10-15 minutes later, Stanislav is driving up with a local Jeep. Why don't you go ahead and read your message out loud so that the stream can hear it?
Geralt sent a message to Caleb, probably on day 4 of him researching the ship, with a text of "These guns are ginormous" and a surprised, shocked face, and a picture of Geralt standing next to a naval autocannon 10 projectile, which is about 5 times larger than an AC-20.
Yeah.
An AC-20 is already large.
Mm-hmm. So Stanislav meets you guys, he like disembark and he goes, welcome back. We're not expecting you quite this soon. But I mean, but once you radioed in, we were expecting you, but we were expecting. Anyway, how did the mission go? Let's see, on the ground right now are Morena, Yvonne, and Denver.
Morena will probably look very angry, and I'm not sure if anyone would notice it, but otherwise she's gonna burst out. Oh.
It didn't go.
Did something went wrong? Like, I was not expecting this, and he points at the Wolf's Dragoons emblem on the side of the dropship, or the drop shuttle you guys just stepped out of.
You know, the pilots of the little ship we went on, they didn't know what they were doing.
So miss jump?
Bingo.
Also, welcome, miss. And he like strides over to Alexandra and takes her hand. It's good to see a dragoon's officer here, although I expected you to be halfway across the galaxy. Seems like you have many stories to tell. She looks at him and goes, yes, you could say that. Do you mind getting me to someplace steady? The ground is rolling, and I'm sure that the Commandant General will want to speak with me soon. She looks at you guys.
Stan, can we get her back to the complex? She looks like she could use a really good cup of tea.
All right, so you guys take her back to the complex, find local tea, like the good stuff that you guys have been purloining from wherever you guys get supplies. And it's like, all right, give me an hour or two to get my land legs underneath me again. And I have some phone calls to make. Thank you, everybody, for your aid. She looks at the 3 people who've traveled with her from Lost Hope and goes, you gave me hope where I had none when you woke me up, so it's good to be on ground again. Stanislav, like, as you guys leave her, Stanislav looks at the 3 of you and goes, so, she is very pretty, but where did you find her? Because she does not speak like he points over in the direction of the dropships.
She may not speak like a wolf, but she's one through and through. She knew so much about them that even I was surprised.
So the Wolf Dragoons thing is real? So not fake Wolf Dragoons.
Affirmative.
Well, that's a thing. Aren't they down Deviant Way?
It's a long story, Stan. We'll have to have Caleb tell you.
Oh,
I might
okay.
I might actually say the last date of history notes we got on the ship. So the only new things up to what was it 20 something?
25 years ago, so 3004.
Ah, okay.
Really? Well, she doesn't look that young, she doesn't look that old, but all right. Well, you guys have many stories to tell. It sounded like Caleb wanted people to go up, so I will coordinate with Caleb if you guys want to keep our friend anything that she might need. And he heads off. All right. Caleb, you get an hour after landing. After they land, you get a ping from Stanislav.
Hey, Stanislav, what do you got for me?
So when do you want people transferring up? I'm assuming that is what the intention was.
Yeah, we're gonna need a lot of crew. Did Marina and the others fill you in?
No.
Were we supposed to? I was holding myself back.
I got in trouble the last time I told anybody anything.
Okay, Stanislav. We're gonna have to figure out how this whole command thing works. I want you to talk to Denver and Marina and Yvonne and tell them that I want you to have them tell you everything.
Yes,
I
sir.
really don't want to go through this on the open comms. I mean, I know we're scrambled, but still.
Yes, sir. I will talk to them.
once you get the story from them, then you'll have a good idea of what I'm looking for. And I expect Denver's going to be doing quite a bit of shuttle duty here for the next couple of days.
He nods. I will talk to the three of them and get some stories straight, and we'll get some personnel ready. So, do you want Aztecs as well as technicians, or just the technicians for now?
Aztecs, but let's look for discretion as much
Okay.
as for ability.
Discretion? Discretion I can sniff out, yes.
Good. I'm glad somebody down there's got a head on their shoulders. Let's see if we can knock some sense into them, if you'd be so kind.
All right. So one careful drawing of a story later out of the three Morena, Denver, and Yvonne. Stanislav starts getting people ready. He actually calls you back up, Caleb, and says, Denver, maybe not fly again today. Start flights tomorrow. And it gives me time to do background checks anyway.
Sounds good. He could use the downtime, I'm sure.
All right.
How's our new dragoon faring?
She is sleeping. Last time I talked to her, or last time I checked in on her, we have guards at her door to make sure nobody, does anything untoward toward her. She has a couple of messages from the Commandant General, but I let Commandant General know that she was indisposed. She'll be awake in a few hours, I think. But
Make sure she gets the full VIP treatment, and that it's clear that the guards are for her convenience and not to get in her way.
Will do. I will have words with the guards and make sure they know discretion as well.
Good man, Stanislav.
He grins and cuts the connection. All right. So 12, we'll call it 12 hours pass. Denver, you get a crew list of like in and out, like, okay, so you're going to take this crew up and then come back down and take this crew up, like flight lists. And it's going to be like, with the K1, it's going to be like, you can stack them in cordwood, so probably double, so 12 at a time. How many people are you transferring, Caleb?
Let's see, the Overlord typical crew would be 40, and the Congress typical crew, you said a couple hundred?
250.
And just thinking about what we've got Aztec-wise, I'm thinking that we're probably looking at, say 30 for the Overlord, and probably they'll do double duty on the Congress. So say a total of, say 90 total.
Okay.
Will be transferring up.
All right. Like leaving a skeleton crew of mech techs behind to run the Einherjar. All right. So about 12 hours later, Alexandra finds Morena and Yvonne at this point probably eating supper. I don't think it worked out to a great time to crash when she did, but she finds the two of you and takes a deep breath and goes, the Commandant General is very, very insistent that I go visit her. Do you think Caleb's gonna want to come down, or I see Denver's starting to work of transferring people up, but is Caleb going to want to come down for this meeting, or should we leave him where he rests in orbit?
I don't know. How sick of my face do you think he still is?
She smiles at you. I think he is appreciative of the skills that you bring to the table.
That's a good way to hide the fact. I think I let my excitement get the best of me.
She smiles. I was not expecting a fan girl of the Dragoons, but when I talk to Jaime, I'll let him know that you that your sort. That sounds wrong. That they have fans.
They very much do.
She nods. Anyway, your opinion, should we call him down or let him stay?
At least give him a call and give him the choice, because if I make any decisions, I get in trouble.
She smiles. You learning things, I take it. And she goes, all right, I don't have contact information for him.
Yvonne will dial him up and pass her the tab.
All right, so Caleb, you get an incoming call from Yvonne.
Oh, good lord! What is it now? I'll answer it.
And
Go.
And on the other end of the line, you hear Alexander say, Major Caleb, or Major, what is your last name?
Archer.
Major Archer. Question for you.
Oh, who is this?
Alexandra.
Oh, hi, Alexandra. I didn't expect a call from you. What can I do for you?
I have a meeting in about an hour with the Commandant General. Wondering if you wanted to tag along with that or send any of your people along.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We got some crew up here now, and I believe we're actually unloading right now. I'll ride back down with Denver, and we'll be there as quick as I can.
She says, all right, I will see you in, and she checks, about 45 minutes.
Sounds good. We'll see you then.
All right. One transferred down later. She hangs out with you, Marina, and Yvonne, making small chat or small talk. And hands Marina. Yvonne. She hands you your phone back and goes, "Seems you have learned the correct decision-making process," because he seemed pleased, although confused by the direction the phone call was coming from.
Well, he is the boss.
Yes, I have gathered. And she looks over at Marina and goes, my stomach is still a little queasy. Do you have anything, I guess, anti-motion sickness drugs? Lack of motion sickness drugs.
I'll look around in the bins everywhere, see if there's something.
Yeah, they got something.
And I'll give it to her.
All right, she takes it and goes, any chance I can get the good ones too? And then she kind of just smiles at you and she obviously joking.
I'll probably take it seriously and say, might not be the smartest thing. You probably get more side effects from it than you want.
Very good. Do you mind taking me out? Do you guys mind taking me out to the shuttle drop point? I don't have any vehicles checked out to me.
Yeah.
All right.
I would be happy to escort you, ma'am.
All right. Geralt, you keep getting updates from Caleb occasionally as time is passing. You give me a luck roll as you kind of exploring the ship and exploring the computer.
D20 luck.
Yeah, just a D20 luck. Ooh. I should know to be careful of that. All right, so you're going around the ship a little bit, exploring. You've gone to the grav deck at this point and seen. Okay, so the grav deck is a large centrifugal, whatever, ring fully inside the ship, and it can, if the ship isn't under like thrust gravity, it can be spun up to simulate a percentage of gravity, and it has things like workout rooms and stuff to help people keep their gravity legs, as it were. And you go by there, and the ring is like jammed. Looks like it was shifted, and it's going to take like you're going to have to almost take the ship apart to get this thing back up and running. You're thinking. You make note of that, and then you get a little forward of that and get into one of the like spaces near the fore of the ship, and you come across a well-fitted panel that on the schematics that you have should be a door. Like you walk past it, you know, you're like kind of mapping the ship out for your own perspective. You go, or not walk past it, you float past it, and you get to like get beyond it and like stop. Yeah,
Wasn't that supposed to be a door?
Yeah, there's like the gap is too big, and you come back and you see there's like this perfectly it looks built-in panel, or it is built-in panel, matching everything else. Give me a. I need to roll for this. Notice plus wisdom roll, please. An 11. All right. So with an 11, you find a catch on the panel, kind of in a hidden location. And you press it, and the paneling comes away in the micro G. And it's like the walls are an inch thick, steel and aluminum and whatever, like some level of defensive. This panel is like fairly thin but rigid sheet metal, and it like is attached to the door in such a way that it disguises the door, and you see a door, and it is labeled as Armory A. Personnel Armory A. Near-ish the front of the ship.
Huh. Wonder what's in here. And I open the door if I can.
All right,
And
so
go in and look.
you hit the door open button, and you get that neat. Hit it again. Neat.
Plug in the face tab and try some code I've used that worked at something before.
Program plus intelligence, please.
I reroll that.
Okay.
Well, before you re-roll it,
It doesn't matter, it's lower.
was the 9 enough or not?
Neat. You keep getting the cannot be opened locked error.
The reroll is supposed to be used before you know
Success
the
or failure.
result.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So if I think a 9 might not be enough, it behooves me to try to reroll, especially rolling a 3d6.
Right.
IS2.
I did not realize that as a player. Thanks for clarifying.
Couple of crummy rolls. Yep. So you spend a good 15 minutes like with the data face tab, and no level of access you give yourself is enough to open this door. None of the code that you've used to override other systems is working. This door remains a blank, unopened slate. And we'll get back to Caleb. You're landing on the ground with Denver. Denver, you've done about 4 transfers at this point, so there's 30 or 40 people up in space. It's like you're getting to the point where it's time to take a break. And you guys see Caleb, you see as you're exiting the drop shuttle, Morena and Yvonne and a couple of Einherjar guards and Alexandra pulling up to the fairly well-traveled now drop zone.
So I'll wave to them, and as I get up close, I'll say hi to Alexandria, and then I'll turn to Yvonne and put on my best "you're in for it now" face and say, Yvonne, I've decided.
Yes, sir.
So here's what's going to happen. Since you think you need to speak for the Einherjar, this one's yours. You speak first in this meeting, and I really hope I don't have to jump in.
Monka S.
Oh. Okay, sir.
Oh. Alexandra is she gives you a very long look, Caleb, and raises one eyebrow and has kind of a half smirk on her face.
Caleb, once Yvonne turns around and Alexandria is still looking, will just give a little shoulder shrug and say, hey, how bad can it go? It can't be worse.
All right. She nods and you guys load up onto the Jeep, or the APC probably, considering how many of you there are. Denver, you gonna go with them to the meeting, or are you gonna go back to the Einherjar compound?
I'll tag along to the meeting.
All right. So you guys all head over to the overlord that is grounded over here, again entering underneath all of the guns of all the other ships. Pull into the bay inside of the overlord, and familiar guard, whose name I've completely forgotten at this point, is standing watch and goes, Einherjar and Dragoons, welcome. He says, if you will please head this way. Leads you into the belly of the ship. Now familiar path up into the command area. I need to make a couple rolls. It's been, how many days has it been since you guys arrived? 4, 5, 6-ish?
Sounds about right.
Okay. So you guys arrive and see the Commandant General and her aide in the room. They stand as you enter. She actually comes around her table and offers her hand to Alexandra and says, I did not expect to see a Dragoon in this part of the galaxy. Alexandra takes the hand and looks back and goes, well, ma'am, I don't know that I expected to be here either. And there's a small nod, and goes back behind her desk, offers you guys seats. Goes, so since I did not get a confirmation of the attack on Rasselhag, I'm assuming that the mission was either a failure or at least not a success.
I can do this.
Right up his head again.
Well, ma'am, as I have been appointed by my ever so loving major over there.
Both eyebrows go up.
The mission kind of didn't go at all. We hit a misjump and stumbled across our wonderful new friend here, Alexandria, in distress.
She nods. That is the story that I have heard. So, assuming the Schnecken comes back, or you can take your jump ship over there. Am I to understand that the mission will continue, or will the mission at this point be canceled?
Well, as we have not been spotted by any of the Rosselhagians at all, I think it can still go on, but I will have to confer with the boss and get his opinion just to make sure I'm not overstepping my bounds.
She looks over at Caleb with an eyebrow up.
Caleb will give a bit of a smirk and then nod.
She goes, she understands the concept of what is it called? When you get duty that for as a punishment. What is that called?
Karma?
Well,
I don't know what it would be called.
There's a specific term in the army where you're put on like peeling potatoes or cleaning the latrines or. Anyway, she nods at you, Caleb, and goes, well, we can work those details out. Either way, she turns to Alexandra. Are the Dragoons planning on coming up and assisting in this part of the war? And Alexandra, shakes her head slightly, goes, I have not had a chance yet to talk to my commanding officers. My ship has been separate from them for quite some time, and so until I can have a chance to call them up, I will not know what the plans for the Dragoons are. I know they would, I'm sure, like to get the Daedalus back in their ranks, but I am to understand from some information that Yvonne has given me that the Dragoons are very far away from where we are right now, and they are very busy. So, stay or go, I do not know yet. I do not know if they will plan on sending people this way or ask me to come join them or meet up at some future date. Until then, I am here, and I am grateful to the brave service that the Einherjar were able to give me when they rendered aid. And judging by the information that we had when my ship jumped ahead, the Schnecken will probably be okay. Commandant General nods and goes, please let me know what the Dragoons plan. If all else, if nothing else, I could use extra lift capacity in my invasion, and so I may want to hire you call it the Daedalus. I may want to hire the Daedalus for that, if nothing else. And she looks at the rest of you and says, I see you're transferring crew up to orbit. I'm assuming continuing to render aid. You don't have to tell me. Please let me know if there's any aid that my jump rated people can render you with. They're currently at the nadir point, so it's a bit of a trip for them, but we're packing up. We've got a couple more weeks before we have everything loaded. But so we should have time if you would like to get some of my crew over there to render aid as well for repairs. Other than that, she looks at Yvonne and goes, we shall be negotiating in the near future to see if once either the Schnecken shows back up or we must leave, we will renegotiate whether or not you take on the mission to Rosselhag, and what payment is owed in either direction. She kind of stands up. Gentlemen and ladies, it's good to see you back, although not in necessarily the circumstances I had hoped.
Yes, ma'am.
Same
Understood.
here. Sorry.
You guys
Caleb
are...
will just nod and move to exit.
All right. You guys leave the room, and notice plus wisdom from everybody who's there. Denver's going to pick this up. Denver's going to be the only one who picks this up. Join me in the sideboard, please, Jaeger.
Okay.
So, as you're leaving, you're the last one out of the room, and she turns to her aide, and you catch the first part of the sentence of, how do I put this? The Dragoon is good news, and then the door closes behind you.
Okay.
All right, back to the roll. Back to the voice. All right, you guys are led back down. Caleb, you're able to give me a sneak plus dexterity, please.
He's got new points in sneak. Look out.
Oh man, what I wouldn't give for a reroll.
So, Morena and Denver, you guys see as you're getting close to the thing, you see Caleb like reach into his uniform whatever, it's like your jacket, and hand something over to the sergeant who's helping you guys, like leading you around. And you see the sergeant's like face kind of brighten up a little bit. He goes, always good to see you guys. Don't be strangers. We'll see you around next time.
Caleb will do his best poker face and say goodbye to the guard and start walking.
All right. You guys load back into the transport, drive out. You see, the normal gun turrets tracking you as you're driving away.
Caleb, what did you give the guy?
What are you talking about?
I clearly saw you reach in your pocket and give him something.
Seriously? Oh, Jiminy Christmas. How did you notice? Okay, fine. It doesn't matter. I just gave him some, let's say, slightly unofficial, somewhat contraband items he'd requested.
Oh.
I'm really going to have to work on distractions. How did you... Okay, fine. You'll have to tell me later what you saw that made you pick up on it.
All right, so you guys drive away, head back to the Einherjar compound. Stanislav, as you guys are arriving, looks at Denver and goes, yes, transfers will be done for the evening, I think. Getting people are still settling into the, he kind of like does the thinking, Icarus. So, are we going to rename that ship? Seems inauspicious. Maybe we rename it the Inauspicious.
All right, so Stanislav, you do not get the naming rights for Einherjar ships. Let's just put that out there right now.
But the Inauspicious is a great name. Seems fitting. Anyway.
How about the Valkyrie?
Valkyrie? Valkyrie, very fitting. Yes. So... Geralt sent message saying he had something interesting for you, Caleb. I left. I got the message because comms room, but I'll let him explain. He open part, closed parts, whatever. You know what I mean. And I think that Denver, you are off lift for a while, and we have no other pilots, so hey, everybody gets 12-hour break while Denver goes to sleep. Or, doesn't jump into doesn't ride into the atmosphere again. He starts like giving you a rundown of all the stuff in the compound and everything since you've been out for so long, Caleb, kind of pulling you away from the rest of the group. Alexandra looks at the three of you who are left with her and the two Einherjar guards and goes, well, that was fun. So how does one make an international or interstellar phone call around here?
Well, we do have an HPG on planet, but you have to go pay ComSuck to use it.
I do not believe I have any of local currency.
I could lend it to you.
That would be appreciated. Caleb seems busy. Are they open at this time of day? She goes, and it's like 7 p.m.
I don't know. I really don't pay attention to them much.
She looks at Denver and Morena with a question on her face.
I'm not sure either.
Perhaps morning then. All right. I just woke up, but apparently it's evening, so if you don't mind, I'll take my hounds here and head to my room. She like gives you guys a dragoon salute and heads off to the room that she had been lent.
Have a good night.
All right, Caleb. You get back to the comm station and have a message from Geralt, maybe about a little finding. Okay, this is GM making an assumption, but
all right, I'll bring it up on the comm log and punch in the decode, and I certainly hope it's encoded at this point. But
yes.
All right, so I'll punch it up, punch the decode, and see what the message says.
So, hey, walking around the ship here, found a hidden personnel armory I couldn't get open. Huh. End message.
And schematic of the section of the ship with the relevant area circled out, and
an actual picture showing that the door was in fact hidden.
So Caleb just sort of mutters to himself, I really got to talk to Geralt about how ciphers can be broken. I really have to get some decent training. Oh, man. So I will... I'll see... let's see, we're in the compound, and it's late, so I think I'll just sit on this until the morning. I'll send a quick reply back to Geralt and say, hey, Geralt, how long does it take you to break ciphers? And that's it.
You get this message back and go, as like you get the message from Caleb in a unknown, it's from Caleb, but it's in an unknown code, and you're like, oh yeah, and you like hit a couple buttons, and like 5 minutes later you have it cracked open and you're reading it, Geralt.
I'll send back a reply of your code 5 minutes. This code maybe 5 years.
That and well, out of character. That's probably accurate. Geralt's pretty good. So night passes. Morning comes. You guys all meet up except for Geralt, who's currently floating 8 light minutes away. Guys all meet up in the mess hall. Alexandra, every day she has been under full gravity, is looking progressively better. She looks around and goes, do you guys have like exercise facilities here? Anything? I kind of want to do a little workout before I go talk to go give a call.
Yeah. You can even meet my favorite tech, John.
She smiles. All right. I'm gonna head over to the HPG in a couple hours. Then, Caleb. Well, really, any of you, welcome to join with me. You feel free to relate the story as you see it when we're talking to them. But I'm gonna go talk to my bosses now. She heads off with you, Yvonne, to the training grounds. Well, gym, really.
Yeah. This is my friend John. He's the best tech, my favorite, and totally did not start a whole series of bar fights over the last 6 months or so.
John looks over at you and goes, totally. Didn't start them at all. All right. So she strips down to workout clothes that you guys provide her. She is fit. Like, there's no spare fat on her body, but she's also like, the muscles also obviously are weak. And she just goes, she goes, and starts lifting weights, probably heavier than she should be lifting, but, is definitely looking like she's getting some, I don't know if some frustration necessarily, but some effort out. Caleb, you get a ping at about 9 a.m. on your comm.
I'll bring it up. Take a look.
Stanislav comes over the comms and goes, jump signature about an hour ago. Looks like it's just schnecken. From what I am getting from local traffic.
Awesome. I'm glad they made it. I was starting to get a little bit worried. I figured they would have made it in a day sooner, but maybe they had some trouble getting going. So that's good news.
Does Geralt is up at the other ship? Maybe send him some information to crack. I am having no luck at cracking these communications.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Let's make sure that we at least wrap it in another layer of encryption so it doesn't obvious that we're bouncing.
He nods. All right, we'll send it in normal transfers. He signs off. In the morning messages, you get the message from Geralt.
LF, long flight, long. Oh, all right, I don't know what it means. I'll send a reply back to Geralt saying I'll ask, and also about the other thing, and be at least a little bit cryptic.
Okay.
And send a ping back to Geralt.
Right. You guys are all able to meet up. Anybody who's gonna go with Alexandra to the to Comstar, able to meet up. Who's all gonna go with?
This is sadly not a mission I can accompany you on, madam.
She
I will join.
Raises an eyebrow. All right. Well. All right. Good to have you. Good to have you, Major. I'm assuming that Jaime or whomever I get will want will want to talk with me, or talk with you as well. So good to have you along.
Is there anyone else that's joining us?
It's up to you guys.
I guess I'll.
Okay. Denver, you gonna stay and start lifting people back up into space, or are you gonna head out with the Comstar crew?
I'll stick with the Comstar crew.
Okay. So everybody on the planet, with the exception of Yvonne, you guys get into transportation. One of the Einherjar drivers, like in the days, like in the last few days, Caleb, you get the impression that Stanislav and Agamemnon are rapidly recruiting locals, with the promise that not everybody needs to leave when the Einherjar leave, if the Einherjar get off planet missions. And there's definitely Agamemnon's definitely doing some back channel negotiations with the planetary government on like stuff that needs to be in place before the Einherjar transfer over to near Voxadal. So stuff is happening. You don't recognize this person, but they have like private's uniform on, and they go, "Oh, hey, yeah, over to Comstar. Happy to have you." And they're like almost painfully young, like 18. They told somebody they were 18, and somebody believed them.
Sure you're old enough to drive this thing?
I have been driving for several years now. At least 2. He says, lying through his teeth. He
All right, well, let's see, let's go.
Right, so you guys start driving off. It's a fairly short drive over to the compound, or to the HPG, and
Are we in a separate compartment than the driver?
No, this is like a Jeep.
Gotcha.
So there's like one person sitting in front and couple three. It's like a SUV, like a three row SUV. So some are like a Jeep but bigger. But yes, so I'm assuming quiet drive over to the Comstar compound. This place is busy, but there is a like NBFA army checkpoint in the street before you actually enter the Comstar compound. They still apparently are interdicting local traffic, or they're not letting free reign of anybody to just come in and leave. And they look at you guys' uniforms and go, business?
So I'll look at the private and say, "Hey, Sergeant, nice of you to let us through. It's a beautiful morning this morning, isn't it?"
Give me a talk plus charisma. See if you can just BS your way past him. Okay, you like a couple lines, you've overwhelmed him to the point where he just like, all right, yeah, go ahead. Einherjar are on the list of people to go, and he passes you on.
Need to borrow some good rolls from everybody else. You're using them up.
All right, so you see there's like inside the main like you walk in through these very recently repaired but beautiful glass doors. Like the there are still scratch marks in the marble floor from where the tank occupied here, but they've obviously been like spending time to try to sand them down to make them less obvious that there was a tank here. There are a couple of adepts like dusting various things, and there's one guy like in the corner at a computer doing a mantra of some sort or not. You're not 100% sure. There's always something weirdly tech religious going on whenever you guys have entered a Comstar place. And then there's a reception desk off to the side, and as you guys walk in, head over, they're like, interstellar phone call, video or audio. Kind of looks around you.
Caleb will look to see if he recognizes anybody.
You've seen a couple of these adepts before, but nobody you're familiar with, like no good friends or anything. Alexandra kind of looks up and goes, video if possible. Don't know what planet necessarily. I'd like to be connected to Colonel Jaime Wolf of the Wolf's Dragoons. The Comstar adept kind of stops, eyebrows, and goes, well, if you don't know exactly where to contact him, there is a small service fee to track him down. But we can roll that into the cost of the phone call, or cost of the call. And here are our rates. And she like punches a couple buttons, and the rate for making a interstellar video call comes up onto the like little data pad in front of you. It is 150 C-bills per 5 minutes. And then there's a 50 C-bill connection fee. She kind of looks and she kind of looks at, since Yvonne isn't here, she kind of looks at Morena.
Denver will cough it up.
All right.
How much?
150 per 5
at the
minutes. Yeah, it's plus 50, so at least it's gonna be at least 200. You don't know how long the call is gonna be for sure.
Yep, let me know at the end.
Okay. She oh yes, this will work. If you will wait right over here, we will see if we can establish a connection with him or a representative, and then we will call you in. It will be, she checks, an unknown length of time. We have good information on the Dragoons, but it'll depend on local time and all of that. And who may I ask is calling? And Alexandra goes, oh shoot, I need the Dragoons ranks. Ranks. No, I didn't mean that. That one. Haha. We'll go with this is Commander Alexandra Karinsky of the Daedalus, and he'll know what that is. The adept nods and says, "Very well, madam. If you would wait over in the waiting area, we will get you. We will connect you when we can." And you guys head over to the waiting area, and of course, Lady from Ipanema is playing over the speakers. It's like an hour passes. There's tea and coffee available to you guys. Another hour passes. Another hour passes. Alexander is looking progressively more nervous as time is passing. And we will go. I want to check something quickly. No.
Come on.
30.
It's
Yep.
costing us times.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, it's
Just teasing.
okay. So about 4 hours after you guys arrive here, there's an adept walks in and goes, we were unable to connect to Jaime, but he has put a representative on the line if that is acceptable. Alexandra nods. And she goes, all right, then whoever is coming, if you would follow with me. You guys all head. There's a privacy, like you pass through a privacy screen into a conference room. The adept shows Alexandra and you, Denver, how to work the controls, and then steps out of the room. You guys can hear the like privacy curtain go up, electronic like sound canceling stuff, all that sort of fun jazz go up, and the hit the connect button. It connects, and staring at you from the other side of the screen, you see a middle-aged 45, 50, maybe 55 at the outside, red-haired woman, crow's feet just in the corners of her eyes, a intense look on her face, and you hear Alexandra go, Natasha? And we will go ahead and end there. So, thank you to the players for playing. Thank you everybody for watching. It has been great having you here. We'll be back again with more BattleTech Tabletop RPG in 2 weeks. I hope to see you then. Thank you everybody for watching. Bye.